All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. In this episode, we are going to go over how Pete the Pool Guy imports information from Structure Studios. As you can see here, I'm using that. And we basically make a chart for a spreadsheet that will be able to be imported into Moasure, and that makes it simple for you to use the layout plan. So essentially, I can take this 3D model here and plot points on here, which is what I'm going to do. And then I can take this into the field, and if the customer's like, "Hey, I want to, have a couple different pools in mind. I don't know which one I want." I'm at the house, myself, and then I can go ahead and say, well, which models are you looking for? I have these models in my Moasure already done up and ready to go. And here's a Colombian beach rainforest composites. And I go ahead and plot out the model right there at their house because the information is in Moasure. And this is kind of how we figure out the plot. So what I do here is in Moasure, I create this little shape here for an origin, and we'll go ahead and change this in here. I it has the ability in Moasure to go from plot to plot, and you can actually import this um, manually in there, but I find it's too tedious to do that. So I like to set this up as an origin here, and then once we get the origin, in place, and I like to have it like maybe 5 feet off from the start, so I'm not standing right on top of where it needs to go. What Moasure will make you do is, if you see here in the corner, it will make me face a certain direction, or I usually face a certain direction in order to get the X, Y, and Z coordinates. Um, Moasure, if you're standing this way, right, looking straight ahead, it will want to plot out the X coordinate plane here. And if you remember in school, we always had the X coordinate this way, which is a little confusing to me. I don't know, the engineers in there did it where you were standing straight up, and it just confused the hell out of me. So this is the reason why I come up with this. You can turn the Moasure, or you can turn your um, phone sideways, so it will rotate that, and then that will be your X coordinate going this way instead of having it like this. So you simply turn it like this, and that will be your X coordinate, which is fine. That's how I do it. So that's how we're going to do it here. And it's too many plots in here to, go over. I mean, this one's actually easy, but I've done freeform ones that take a lot longer. um you can do that, and that's what I'm telling you is the power of Moasure and Structure Studio. So we're going to do a simple one here. I'm going to show you how this works. Okay, so we've got the origin starting here, and we've got this plotted out to where I've measured it out. That's 5 foot on the X coordinate, 5 foot on the Y coordinate, and we're going to start on this spot right here. Okay, so let's go over. After I get that 5, 5, I have a spreadsheet with Moasure Colombian Beach right here, you can see. And I'll put 5 in the X and 5 in the Y. Do not use the first uh, row for, X and Y. Just understand that it's going to screw up Moasure because it only wants to see the numbers. So we're going to use A as X and B as Y. I guess I can move that over, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to come back. Now I want my second point, okay? You can do any of these midpoints if you want. I'm just going to make this simple for me. I'm going to go ahead and go all the heck way over here. And I find it easy to use the measuring tool here. So we know this is the origin. I'm going to start here. I'm going to drag this all the way over to what I think is going to be that line right there, and that's 35 on this plot. Okay, so we're going to have 35 and then 5 coming from here. Okay, so we've got 35 and 5, and then I go ahead and put that into Colombian Beach, 35, 5. And we're going to rinse and repeat and do that for all the plots that we need on this pool. And go back to VIP 3D. Next, we're going to do the next plot, which is going to be right there. Okay. And we'll just call this 35 and then some. So let's go with 35 point 0.8. That looks like about point 0.8, right? And then we're going to do 35 and then 6. So 35.8 and 6. So let's go ahead and go to, whoops, 35.8 and 6. Now, understand this about the layout measurements. You are not going to want to make this use layout for anything that needs to be absolutely precise, like a deck or something like that, right? This is just me giving the customer an estimate of kind of what it looks like for, for his pool, should he want to build this thing. So I'm just giving him little plots on his, on his house to show him where these, where the pool layout will be. So we're going to bring this here. That's going to be the same exact line as the other one, but we need to now know where the measurement is for this. This seems tedious, but once you do this one time, you will forever have these measurements in Moasure. So that's the power of this thing, right? So I'm going to do maybe 15.8 or 9. I mean, I know 9 inches is different, so we can do 15.10. Does not have to be super precise. There's going to be a fudge factor on Moasure anyways for about an inch. So you're going to, understand that it's going to be out there. The customer's going to see it. They're not going to care if it's exactly precise right off the bat. They're going to want to just visually see what's going on. So we're going to keep this 35.8 since that's on the same X plane. All right, 35.8. And then we go to the Y plane. What did I say that was? Oops. 15.9. Let's do 15.10. Whoops. 15.8. All right. And next we're going to go to our other one. Right there. Bring this up to 16 point. You can do 16 points and a half because that's 16.7. So let's do 16.6 on that. All right, so we're going to do 16.6 up that way, and then we're going to do 35 because that's where we are right there. So 35, 16.6. Whoops, I did 35.8. I need to do 35 straight. All right. We're down to the home stretch. Let's go over here to this point right here. Measure there. Down to our origin line, which is right there. Okay, so same deal. We've got a little bit of variance there between 16.7 and that. But we're going to be at the 5 mark. So let's do 5 and whatever we had for that other measurement. So let's do 5 on the X, and then we're going to do 35. I'm sorry, 16.6 on the Y. All right, and then the next one is almost second to the last. This one right here. Take that down to our origin. 15 point, let's call it 15.6. And that is going to be just short. So that's 4. 1, 2, yep. Right to that line. So we're going to do 4 and 15.6. Okay, so there we have it. And then back to the first measurement. If you want to go to the start at that point, we can just call up the same one, 5, 5. Okay, so now what we do is we export this. Export, download to comma separated values. Once you send that out, there we go, Moasure Columbian Beach. Now, I take this and I send this to, I'm not going to do it right now because it's going to have all my information and everything out there, but I take this and I send this over. You can either email this to your email and then pick it up off your phone, because I'm on the desktop here and I'll pick it up on my phone and then import that to Moasure. However, which way you want to do it, the file is right there. When we open this file up, you're going to see it looking like this. Now, you don't have to use a spreadsheet like this. You can just use a notepad if you want to just do it like this. Make sure it's commas separated on there. So you do 5,5. I find it easier to use a spreadsheet, to each his own. But anyways, once this gets imported into Moasure, you now have, and I'm going to show this in the video, you now have plots in Moasure that you can just pull up of all of your fiberglass pools. That's game changer. That's something that I'm sure Moasure never thought of, and that's the reason why they have us out here in the field, pointing things out. This is useful in our field for X, Y, and Z. I don't think anybody else has had any layout plans on there. This is essential for obviously landscapers. That's huge, but pond builders, anybody that has predetermined, things like, we have pools. So maybe you have designs for, I don't know, a fountain or um, you know, landscapers can have certain maybe planters that they, have designed in the past that they want to redesign again. I don't know. This is up to you to use your imagination and apply it to your field out there. Excavators. So in my head, I can literally take this plot, plot this out, right, for my dig guy to dig, because it doesn't have to be exactly precise for the dig. The layout guy, it has to be super precise. So we'll need to use a transit, laser transit in order to get everything exactly perfect, because we need that level and everything perfect, but we don't need it for the dig. So I could literally walk out to the dig with my layout of a pool that I need dug and plot it with Moasure, and then have my dig guy, me in my case, because I run the damn excavator, but a lot of people don't. Um, I could have my dig guy start digging right then and there. Um, so it's a super useful tool. It's up to your imagination to help your business. I know it's cost 900, almost a grand, but I'll tell you, as a professional that walks out to somebody's house and I'm able to now show them right then and there different cool designs and how that would look. And you're going to see it in the video that we're going to shoot later today of, we're going to take these little markers and we're going to plot them around in their yard. It's not going to be super precise, but it's going to be something to where the homeowner can see, oh crap, that's huge in my backyard. I thought that the 30-foot pool was going to be small, and a lot of people think it's going to be small and they want the biggest. And then when the pool arrives and they're like, whoa, that's a huge pool, or when we start digging, then they're like, wow, that's a big hole. I'm like, yeah, you said you wanted a 35. So this is something that they can have there. What we were doing before is we were actually bringing out the we have a template, right? Which is fine. I mean, that's great. That's what we were doing. We were laying out an actual template at their house of, what they chose, and I would lay it out so that the customer could see where the pool was going to lay per our 3D drawings, right? Because then they're going to tell us, hey, I think we want the pool over here. Well, I'll set it there, and then we'll go ahead and bring the template out and lay it out. But I'm not going to bring the template out to somebody's house that's just on the fence about when they're, whether they're going to go with us or not. I'm just not going to carry all these templates around. That's ridiculous. Plus, pulling it out, you know, unraveling it, going through, showing the customer. I mean, I guess you could do that and then wrapping it back up, but I couldn't do that, unless I brought my van or trailer or something. This I can just ride in my car, in my Jeep, and I can pop out. I have all the information right there on Moasure, and I can click through, hey, you were looking for a freeform pool that's this design. Okay, let me plot that out. Boom. And I plot it out for them. Oh, you were thinking about this other design because that one looks small. Okay, let me show you a bigger pool. Boom, plot that one out. And then they're like, oh, I see. This is kind of where we're at. It's all about interaction with the customer, bringing tools on the table to, number one, be more professional. Number two, give them more options visually or, whatever, to make them feel comfortable that you know what the hell you're doing. That's your, that's what that's what you need to do. So however you need to do that, this is what I choose to do is use technology. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you.